I'm Dr. Sridhar from a Management Department, Ratnam College of Arts and Science. Okay. So today I'll be talking about cross-border mergers. Okay. So what is cross-border merger actually per se? So cross-border merger if it is explained in very simplistic terms, it is a merger of two companies which are located in different countries resulting in a third company. Okay. So that means these two companies should be situated in two different countries and then should be merged to become a third company. A cross-border merger could involve an Indian company merging with a foreign company or vice versa. That means an Indian company can merge with a foreign company and foreign company can merge with an Indian company. Okay. A company in one country can be acquired by an entity from other countries. Yes, next. The local company can be private, public or state-owned company. In the event of a merger or acquisition by a foreign investors, referred to as cross-border merger and acquisition. Okay. Cross-border merger will result in the transfer of control and authority in operating the merged or acquired company. Okay. So the cross-border merger will actually result in the transfer of control and authority to whom in operating the merger of the acquired company. Assets and liabilities of two companies from two different countries are combined into a single entity in terms of the merger. That means assets and liability belonging to two companies in two different countries are merged together to form. They become the assets and liability of a merged company. Next, please. Legal terminologies are normally available in cross-border mergers. So it involves two countries according to the applicable legal terminology. So basically, they involve home country and host country. Let us see what's home country and what is host country. Home country is the state where the origin of the companies that make an acquisition, that is the acquiring company in other countries. That is the country A which is acquiring companies from in other countries, then that is known as home country. Country where the target company is situated is referred to as the host country. For example, in the case of Tata Motors, Tata Chorus. So Tata Steel was an Indian company, and it acquired Chorus in the UK. So that means what? Tata Motors is a case of home country, and for host country, Chorus, it is a host country. Next, please. Then see, there are many benefits that arise out of mergers and acquisition. Why companies go after cross-border mergers? So there are many reasons available. Some of them are expansion of markets, geographic and industrial diversification, technology transfer, avoiding you can say entry barriers and industry consolidation, tax planning and benefits, foreign exchange earnings and accelerating growth, utilization of material and labor at low cost, increased customer base and competitive advantage. So companies, when you talk about benefits, expansion of markets, sometimes what happens, the local domestic market becomes so saturated that if you want to, unless until you expand, your market becomes shrinked and your sales may not increase. Therefore, you want to increase and expand the market, then you go for cross-border merger. Second thing is geographical industrial diversification. Suppose you are situated in India, you want to be you are in Asia, suppose you want to be in Europe, so you go and take over a company in Europe. So that is a what you call geographical, you can say diversification. And then industrial, probably you are in one industry and you want to divert into, you want your presence in some other industry. Then when you acquire a company there and start operating, merge the company with you, you become, you can say you also start manufacturing and producing and marketing the products belonging to other industries. So that's a you can say industrial diversification. Then technology transfer. So very often it is seen that in the cross-border merger, technology transfer happens. And for technology transfer, it is very, very important that many companies go for cross-border mergers. Avoiding entry barriers and industry consolidation. So avoiding entry barriers means, suppose you are doing exports in many countries, there are some entry barriers are there actually. So to overcome that, companies do use the cross-border merger and acquisition as a route to overcome this barrier. By avoiding these entry barriers, they can get easy exit, because why? The host country now, company which is in the host, that is the acquired company which is in the host country, that means the manufacturing there happens to be the domestic manufacturing, so it is no more to do with imports or exports. So in that context, they can avoid entry barrier. Then industry consolidation. Suppose some company wants to consolidate an industry, industry consolidation can happen by using cross-border mergers and acquisition. Tax planning and benefits. Sometimes it is beneficial for tax, I can say, by acquiring company overseas, tax planning can be done much better way, and there are certain benefits available to them, whereby the companies that are in domestic, they can actually take over the company overseas and manage the taxes much better way. So that's possible. Then foreign exchange earnings and accelerating growth, very important. For any country, it is very important that foreign exchange is very necessary. So a company which earns more foreign exchange naturally has a higher reputation. So in that context, if a company is situated in one country and goes for cross mergers and acquire a company there and starts earning foreign exchange, then in that situation, yes, the company earns foreign exchange, thereby its reputation stands increased, and therefore they can say that's one of the reasons actually company goes for foreign exchange, I can say, earnings. Then accelerating growth. Yes, sometimes it so happens that domestic market, it's not possible to accelerate, so you go overseas and accelerate. There are many examples for that. Some of them happens to be like Tata Motors, and I can say Tata Motors, which actually went and acquired JLR, Jaguar and Land Rovers of UK. So that's again one of some of the examples of typical case where the cross-border mergers has taken place. Then utilization of material and labor at low cost. It's so possible that companies which are situated in an advanced country, they go over and acquire companies in I can say less developed economies where the I can say labor is cheap. So that's one aspect. Or they can go and take over a company where the material is very abundant. So that way they can go for a cross-border mergers and acquisition. That way it's possible, so that they can actually take care of the material, and then again production cost at a lower level. Then increased customer base and competitive advantage. Yes, when you go overseas, then merge with the company there, your customer base increases without disturbing the domestic market. So domestic market, there's a customer base there, and also when you go abroad, again it is providing an increased you can say customer base to you. So that's again a greatest advantage. And competitive advantage, yes, many companies go for competitive advantage they want to increase the competitive advantage, they go for cross-border mergers. So competitive mergers could be in finance, could be in marketing, could be in R&D, whichever area it is. So they make a lot of take advantage of that, and by going into cross-border mergers, they go for all these things. All these advantages are there. Please, next. Then challenges with cross-border mergers and acquisition. So if there are no benefits, naturally there should be some challenges, right? What are the challenges we look at? Some of the challenges happens to be legal issues in different countries. Okay, and then accounting challenges and taxation aspects. Technological differences, political landscapes and strategic issues, overpayment in the deal, failure to integrate and HR challenges, and then cross-border mergers and acquisition have been rapidly ascending in quantum and value in recent years. That's what we have witnessed. Before that, let us say legal issues in different countries. Yes, each country has its own laws. So when you are going for cross-border mergers, you must be very well versed with the law of the land where you are going to acquire the company. So that means you must be very aware that very much aware that the companies where you are acquiring, you know the land, the laws of the land. So that's very important. Then accounting challenges and taxation aspects. So each country has its own taxation and accounting process. So again, the company has to have the knowledge of taxation that is prevailing in the other country where they are acquiring, and similarly tax like a regime there that should be known to them. What are the tax slabs and all those things should be known to them. Then technological differences. Yes, when the two companies merge together from two different countries, technological differences may arise. So that means the company must be well aware that there is a difference in technology. So that has to be understood clearly before you go for cross-border merger, and it will be there. And how to manage that differences is a great challenge the company faces. So that company must be ready to make that challenge, I can say, take up the task and live up to the expectation. And then political landscape and strategic issues. Yes, each country has its own I can say political setup. So when you talk about cross-border mergers, when you talk about political landscape, each country has its own set of, we can say, rules and regulations, politics, so policies and other things. So company has to live with those things, must understand all those things before they even go for cross-border mergers. And then strategic issues are there. it would be pertaining to that particular country, or could be particular industry in that countries. So those things have to be taken up with care, because it's again one of the important challenges any company that takes up cross-border mergers for cross-border mergers. Okay, goes for that. Overpayment in a deal. It sometimes so happens that instead of paying the right price, companies end up paying the high price. So when that happens, the deal is supposed to be overpriced. So in that situation, already you have paid a bit higher than what the actual price was. So there's a possibility that you may end up paying a higher price. So when you pay a higher price, there's a question of overpayment in the deal. So that's again is I can say a challenge, a greatest challenge in the case of cross-border mergers and acquisition. Then failure to integrate and HR challenges. Sometimes it is possible that the company which is merging, goes for acquisition, cross-border acquisition mergers, may not be able to integrate. So very often it is seen that companies which go for challenges, which goes for cross-border mergers and acquisition, they face up the challenges of, I can say, failure to integration. So at times the failure to integrate becomes much higher in those cases. One second. And then HR challenges. Okay, of course, there are HR challenges will be there, which will be again has to be faced. Because again, the challenges are cross-border mergers and acquisition. So cross-border mergers and acquisition, as I told you, have been rapidly ascending in quantum and in value recent years. So that has to be taken into account before we do it. Thank you very much for listening.